Hi, everyone. My name is Beth Smith. I'm one of the partners with GWiz, and this is a short overview of our two May units for 2020. We hope all of you are well and safe out there. We know this is kind of a crazy time, so please take care. I am currently logged in as you would if you were an active GWiz customer. This would normally say sign in if you're not a customer, but then when you're a customer and you log in, it'll say sign out. And this tab here will appear once you're signed in that says GWE Customers, which is where I'm going to go to get the curriculum units under this month's units. Currently, we actually have, in addition to our May units, obviously, if you scroll on down, you'll see our April units. Those two units for April will stay up until around the 5th of May, and then they will be removed. So if you are an active customer, you'll want to make sure you've downloaded those files and saved them prior to that date so that you will have access to them. And we do that intentionally, otherwise our website would be so slow if we kept all the units up because it's a lot of very heavy graphic files. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our first unit for May, which is called Pond Pals. And this is a great unit for this time of year in spring when so many different things are popping out. If you're lucky enough to live near an area where there is a pond and you have some extra help to take with you, it would be really, really awesome for the children to go see a real pond and see what kind of things they can find there. But if not, we have included a lot of links in our teacher's guide to different short videos to give children an idea of what a pond is, what it sounds like, what animals they might see there, what plants they might see there. So please use those. That's a way to use technology in a meaningful way. I'm going to go into the English files. I don't speak Spanish, so they wouldn't mean much to me. But if you need Spanish, we do have some of the components available in Spanish, such as the family letter, the digital family notes, and the All About My Week report. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to open the teacher's guide. This is where you'll find all the lesson plans. There are also activities in here for school agers, which right now with the way things are with schools, I'm sure they're going to come in handy. Some of the activities within the daily lesson plans, as well as I'll show you the advanced preschooler activities, would also be very appropriate for your school age children, and use them as helpers. They can help you prep for activities as well. So each GWiz teaching guide starts with an overview of the unit, and it has a table of contents. And there are some picture codes here. So if you are a new customer and you do not know what these picture codes are, I would encourage you to look in our user's guide for more detailed information. But basically what we do is in the lesson plans, we use these picture symbols so that you will know what developmental areas you are addressing as you do each activity. So if you forget what the pictures mean and what area they're associated with, you can come to this page. This is the same in every teaching guide. So for instance, if you see this magnifying glass, which you're going to see a lot in this unit, you'll know that you're addressing science knowledge. If you see the heart, you know it's social and emotional. We also have these symbols. This is for activities that are gross motor. These are things that can be and should be done outside. And if you see this, you'll know that the activity addresses character education. So after the introduction, we have a grid that has all the activities and experiences planned for the first 10 days, which is the first unit, as well as our school age experiences. Some providers will actually print this one page out and post it so that families can see what's coming up. And then we go into the lesson plans. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through every single day, but I want to highlight a little bit about how the lesson plans are laid out because I know currently we have a lot of new customers and I want you to know how we do things. We also have an introduction to GWiz webinar that goes into more detail. So up here, you're going to have your focus of the day, and this is a cumulative list of all the developmental areas you will address if you do all the experiences. We have a health and safety tip every day, a teaching tip every day, and a transition idea every day. Over here, we have words that we want you to use as you engage children in conversations. And some of these words may seem challenging, but if you use them in context, the children will begin to understand what they mean. Same thing here. These are for the activities on the next page. Again, how you can incorporate language development and modeling language into your daily activities. This is our exploring together, which is like a circle time, but it's not a circle time in that you're leading and the children are just listening. Everybody is exploring and learning together. Um, our story prop for this unit is a riddle book. It's in a different file. I'll show you where it is, but you'll print it out and put it together, and you'll be using that during your Exploring Togethers. Anything in red or things you're going to want a little extra time to try to gather ahead of time. Questions to ask as you complete this experience that encourage children to think. We include open-ended questioning into the lesson plans with GWiz. And this is wonderful if you are being evaluated using the Fickers or the class, because it's what they want to see you do. They want to see you engaging with the children, asking questions that go beyond yes and no and red and blue and have simple answers. They want that engagement to be more in-depth and more meaty. So that's what these questions are for. And then the second half of today, oh, and here's a link to, for instance, a video like I just mentioned. So let's say you don't have a pond in your area, or your children are not familiar with what a pond is. That's a short video you can show them to help build that background knowledge. On this page, we have some different experiences, Pond Building 101 and learning about ponds. You'll see that for pond building, we have levels, and these are developmental levels. So you're thinking about each child and where they are developmentally, not necessarily their age. And so what I encourage you to do is read the experience and then read all the options and think about each child in your group and how that you feel they would best approach this experience. Some don't have levels. This one is where we're going to be looking at books. Obviously, each child's going to do that on their own level without any type of adaptation from you. And then in purple, we have an infant experience. Our infant experiences can also, of course, be done with older children, but they're designed to be done with infants one-on-one. And so you will see those here in the purple box. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed through here, and we have 10 days in the first unit and 10 days in the second unit. So you have a total of 20 days of experiences in these teaching guides for the month of May. I'm going to scroll quickly, and I'm sorry if I make anybody dizzy, but I want to be sure to point out the school age experiences, because I know right now, particularly, those are probably of a lot of interest to many of you who are caring for children. So let me grab my bar. And after the 10 days, we'll find the school age experiences. These are designed for those children who normally would be in school, but right now are not, probably in most places. They can be done for more than one day, and they take things into a little more depth, obviously, than the activities for the younger children. Still have the questions to ask because we want to engage these children in conversations as well. So there are 6 of these here, and each one can be extended for more than one day. And then after the school age experiences, we have preparation directions for the riddle book, so you know how to use that, and extensions on how to use it. Our Make It sheets, which are optional, they're not written into the lesson plans. You can choose to use these if you would like, but you certainly do not have to, and you can also choose who you want to use them with, who you feel is ready for them. This one is where we're going to almost like an I Spy with colors, and this one is patterning with things that you would find in the pond. And then here are the advanced preschooler experiences. These again could be done with your school age children as well. They take things into a little more depth. We get into things like letters, letter sounds, rhyming words. We go a little bit deeper into math. This one is about addition. And here is a chart that is super important, because what this does is it tells you specifically what skills you are addressing through each experience, and they're tied to these codes. So what you'll want to do is look in our user's guide for our learning indicators. That's what these little codes are all for. These also tie back to your state standards, which you can find on the home page of our website. We have a chart for each different state. So this is really important. And the school age experiences have theirs over here. We have a book list, so you can gather books for this unit. We also have songs and poems that are original. We put these in the back because there's normally not a lot of space in the actual lesson plans themselves. If we have any additional things, this is to help you make a game that involves fishing. There's a pattern for that. Here's a vest we're going to make, directions on how to do that. These are some sequencing cards. Anything that we feel would make your life easier, we'll put them in the back of the teaching guide. Okay, so this is the teaching guide for the pond. Here's where you would download the story props, which is the riddle book. We also have a materials list for each unit, and I want to show you what that looks like. It's a chart. Anything in red is just a heads up that you might need a little extra time to find it or gather it. And then on the last page of this, we have some yellow boxes because you can actually ask parents and caregivers to maybe send in some things you might need, like a paper grocery bag or a shoe box. Again, this is just to give you a heads up of the things you're going to need to do this unit. The provider's review is for you to complete at the end of the unit, just to reflect on how things went. The add and enhance component is things you can add to your different areas that enhance the unit. So things you could put in the art center for Pond Pals or in dramatic play for Pond Pals. There's one of these for each unit as well. Our literacy and letters, or letters and literacy book, is a book with experiences that help you expose children to letters, letter sounds, words, sentences, punctuation, for those who are ready for that. Again, these would be excellent experiences for school-age children. And what we've done is we give you the activity title, the page it's on, the letters that you can integrate, and then how to do that. So there's 2 pages of how you can do that in this booklet. And again, for those children who are not currently in school, these would be excellent activities. Our customized individualized planning sheet is designed to help you document how you're individualizing our curriculum for your particular children. You would put the children's names across the top, and then in these boxes you would write how you're going to adapt these activities that we're doing today to meet the needs of your children. This is also available as a Word document, which you can type in if you prefer not to write. The All About My Week report is designed to go home at the end of the week. It helps the parents keep an eye on, or helps you let the parents know what types of activities the children were interested in, where they spent a lot of time. I would make a copy and put it in each child's portfolio before sending it home. The family letter, which is also available in Spanish, and the All About My Week is as well. It's designed to help parents have an idea of what you're going to be covering, and then it also gives them some simple things they can do during bath time, mealtime, when they're traveling, and in bedtime. If you don't currently have all your children, you can always still send this home. There's things on there they could do that are really simple and easy to do. The individualization web is a tool you can use to individualize this unit, again, based on each child's interest, maybe a developmental area they're working on. You can print out as many copies of this as you need for your children, and then you can write how you're going to do that on them. And I would, again, put that in the portfolio. The digital family notes are like a photo that you would have on your phone, and you can actually text this to parents or caregivers. Again, simple things they can do to reinforce at home what you're doing in your program. And then the Make It sheets. Okay, so this was the first unit of Pond Pals. Then if you scroll down, you're going to see our next unit, which is Backyard Adventures, which is perfect for right now because we're spending lots of time in our backyard. Again, English files are here, and I'm not going to go into the details of the lesson plans on this one, but I do want to highlight some differences. Instead of a story prop in the second unit, we have a teaching tool. And this teaching tool is actually a poster that you put together, and then you're going to use it to play I Spy as you introduce different things you might see in your backyard. So it tells you in the teaching guide how to prepare this. The other thing that is different about the second unit, all the other components would be the same, just customized obviously for this unit, is the printable puppet. And this one is a gardener. And again, it'll tell you in the teacher's guide how to prepare this and when to use it. So the big differences are between the first unit and the second unit. The first unit has the story props, and the second unit has a teaching tool, and then it has the printable puppet. But other than that, all the components are the same. So that is a very brief overview of our units for May. Again, we hope you are all well and safe, and we hope you find these fun and engaging. If you have any questions or comments, you can always shoot them to us at customerservice@gwizeducation.com. And I thank you so much for your time. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.